And here we are, as promised, 5 minutes after 5 o'clock. And this is the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine, and joining me is the moose himself, Bronk from
Bronk.
England.
Moose.
And it's nice to have an opportunity to, I find this show to be a little bit more relaxing than it is stimulating. It's kind of like going to a Perry Como concert.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll move it up for other people who don't know who Perry Como was. It would be like going to an Air Supply concert.
There's probably people who less know Air Supply than Perry Como, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I'm all out of love. What am I without you? That guy's voice just literally would just rip through me.
Yeah, I mean, the Air Supply's yacht rock. Perry Como would just be the yacht itself.
Yes, that'd be the dead yacht. Sea life. Yeah. Today, and already I knew that this would start because I've come to a conclusion.
No, what's happened now? Because I've been away. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, the news story of the day is that Judkins' case was dropped. Okay.
Right.
So
our latest running back that beats up women.
But people are still online, and nobody wants to hear my message about this because they're too damn busy trying to play prosecutor, and they just seem to, for whatever reason, they seem to forget that you're innocent until proven guilty when they can't prove that you're
that's
guilty.
So woke, you know that?
I know the whole concept.
The innocent until proven guilty is just too damn woke for everybody now.
It's annoying.
Get with the program.
Yeah, but in this instance, we know the story. Judkins was drafted by the Browns, and Ohio State fans and Northeast Ohio people were thrilled. And then all of a sudden, a formal misdemeanor battery charge over an alleged domestic event that happened in South Florida, allegedly. But the prosecutors now have declined to pursue the charges after reviewing police reports, body-worn camera videos, video surveillance, photos, phone records, and the sworn statement of a woman he allegedly struck, according to a memorandum obtained by ESPN. All right. Allegedly happened on July the 12th is when it allegedly happened. But the incident happened 5 days before he was officially arrested.
Okay.
Right? According to the original arrest, Judkins, after showing frustration after reading text messages from his family, was alleged to have punched the woman with a closed fist in the area of her chin and lip while driving in a vehicle departing Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Then he allegedly also struck her in the left arm and thigh. The woman showed officers photographs displaying bruising. All right.
Okay.
Now, that's all that Cleveland Browns fans, and I'll talk about them in a minute, had to hear. And all of the things started rolling back to Deshaun Watson and to why the Browns always do this and why the Browns always do that. And I have gotten to the point where I sit back. A lot of these fans, God only knows if the running back, Adrian Peterson, if he played for the Cleveland Browns and he gained 2,000 yards in a season, they'd be, he's great, But if they find out later that he was mangling his son's genitals with a switch when he was whipping his boy in the balls. Okay. Now that to me is a crime that sends you to jail.
You'd think so.
And
You
and,
would think so,
and
yeah.
he copped to it. He
Wow.
said he did it. He never said I didn't do it. I mean, the
There you go.
bruising on the boy's testicles. I mean, they had social
Nice.
workers coming out. He admitted that he did it, and he never spent a minute in jail. So,
There you go.
the history of the NFL is lined with all kinds of problems as
Oh,
far as social etiquette problems, right up to violence,
it
including players
goes
killing
all
themselves.
yeah, and it goes all the way up to the owners, you can start with Kraft and him down in Florida, so,
Yeah, I mean, nobody says Bob Kraft should be the fuck out of New England because
correct.
he was taking advantage of slave labor. Nobody says
Yeah.
anything about that.
Yeah,
So,
I remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers, but not a lot of other people do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, but the reason that they dropped this, and not that it matters, we already know they dropped the Deshaun Watson thing too,
Yeah.
and these things occur, and people like Tony Busby get their hands on the case, and it's going to be a money grab. That's what this will play out as, like everything else. And nobody likes a miserable shit fuck story more than the press, who will just eat it up and just literally jam it down the throat of every fan. And if you're not a Browns fan, you laugh at the Browns. And if you are a Browns fan, half of you are swayed by what you read. Half of you voted based on what you read and what you heard. And you're seeing something completely different. How does it feel, by the way, for Donald Trump to stand there and applaud in front of Putin the day after he fucking killed people? How do you like that? But you'll always have an explanation for things. And it's the same way. It's like, how did the Democrats who voted for Bill Clinton feel when he was fucking Monica Lewinsky with a Cuban cigar? I mean, honest to God. But today's people are much more blind than all that. Here's the reason why they dropped the charges.
Okay.
This incident was not captured on any video surveillance.
Okay.
There are no independent witnesses to the incident. Although the
Yeah.
victim had photos showing injuries sustained, there were also videos in that same time frame where no injuries were observed to the victim.
Now that
Ad-
sounds like he's innocent now, I
yeah.
think, in my own opinion. Obviously, I'm not an expert.
Additionally, the victim's injuries depicted in the photos could be explained by the other account of the incident, in which she did this to herself. All right.
Wow.
Finally, there was a delayed report of 5 days. If somebody did that, don't you think you'd be right on it? The delay is problematic. The victim was alone on numerous occasions without the defendant. So this isn't a live-in situation where somebody's totally intimidated. And
Which can be, that
yes,
that obviously happens, and
you bet.
it's very serious.
It happens with domestic violence all the time.
Correct.
The guy who lives there in the house, you're going to narc somebody out to the cops, and the cops leave, and you're going to get it worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real.
I know people who have been murdered by their partners, so yeah.
It's a no-win situation, and the problem of this kind of violence against women, you don't need to convince me about it. But don't tell me how you voted in the election and then say you're all concerned about this kind of shit. Don't tell me that. All right? Be consistent. The law is the law, and you are innocent until you are proven guilty. That is the law in the United States of America.
It's sort of the law in most countries, really, to be fair.
Because this woman was alone, had no pressure breathing down her back, and chose not to come forward for 5 days really does make you wonder. And to come up with bruises 5 days later, hello. That's why it was declined, because by its merits, it didn't even deserve to make it to court. Now, the league is going to continue looking into this because they love this shit. They love to be able to rule over the players. That's what they do for a living. And any way they can find people, they can put more money in the owners' coffers. That's the way it all works. Or into their stupid, the NFL cares kinds of promotional.
Oh, yeah, they really
they don't
care,
give a
my
fuck
friend.
about anything. Come on. I mean, it's so Judkins is, from one perspective, off the hook legally. He is going to, I'm sure they're going to come after him monetarily, and the NFL is going to give him, I think people are thinking 3 to 6 games is what he's going to end up missing. But he will be back into, into the facility and at least be able to work out with the team. So there's that.
Well, it doesn't sound like Justin Tucker his situation was far more serious.
And you don't hear anything about that.
You don't hear anything about it.
And the Ravens said, okay, we're getting rid of him. And then it was like, yes, for the ghost of Mr. Modell. Yes, you're our favorite franchise. Yes, it's great. Everything's fine. You'll never hear anything about a guy named Tucker again. The last guy named Tucker made automobiles, and look what we did to him.
Wow.
On and on and on it goes. So Judkins is unsigned. And so that Jimmy Haslam's, woo! I got leverage on this guy. Woo!
I don't have to pay him any money.
Yes.
It's funny as hell that the other Ohio State running back ran back a kick or punt straight away in the first preseason game, 100 yards. Why did we fucking draft Trayvon Henderson? Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a, I don't know. I wish I could tell you that there was a lot of honesty surrounding sports. What bothers me more is the lack of civility amongst fans. I don't even call these people fans. They wish the worst so they can bleed in public on their little social media. And one of the reasons that I decided to bite the bullet and go live on Twitter was because, I want people to accidentally stumble upon the broadcast and hear that there are other opinions and other ways of thinking in the world. And as far as I'm concerned, I hope that Judkins has a good career. If he did this, I hope he has to pay in some way.
Well, in the ideal world, he would confess to doing it if he did it.
Well, but we
don't live in that world, do we?
No, we don't.
We don't live in that world, mate.
So, I mean, I guess that's the good news if you're a Cleveland Browns fan and you wanted a running back, because we don't really have one. And if you're tired of seeing Samson being hurled to the ground by Myles Garrett in practice, then, there's that. Now you have another rookie to get thrown around. But that's not the only one. It's funny. It was like, what would they say about Search? It was 2 mints in one. We have.
Yes. Do they still make those?
I don't even think so.
Wow.
Now, Isaiah Bond, who was a wide receiver, formerly from Texas, the college, not the, or the Rangers, or
Texas. Yeah.
Yep. His criminal charges were what they call no build, which means nothing.
Forgotten about.
Forgotten about. Yep. And he went on kind of precipitously on X and stated for the world to see that he was going to be a Cleveland Brown.
Wow.
Well, now between Judkins and Watkins and this guy and that guy, the fans want to put it together and they want to piss and moan about it. And it's really not that significant a thing. I will say this about the case against Isaiah Bond. Both parties state that they had sex. One, of course, they met on Instagram. Does this sound familiar?
A bit.
All right. And it happened in another place, not in his house or anything like that. They met. And she claims after the fact that he was forceful. And that's where that goes. And after reviewing all the evidence presented, a Collin County grand jury returned a no bill in the sexual assault charge involving Isaiah Bond. No indictment will be issued. And that concludes the criminal proceedings in this matter. But there's money to be made. I'm so sick of the whole goddamn thing. There's another story that I think ties into a lot of this that I'm going to move on to in just a moment. As far as Bond saying he was signing with the Browns, it's like, not so fast. The Browns haven't given him a piece of paper to sign. In fact, they're waiting for the NFL to do their little due diligence. Bond thanked the Browns for believing in me, I'm not so sure, and said he was grateful for the decision of the prosecutor and the courts not to pursue charges. And there is no deal yet, but they, what was really funny is watching Mary Kay Cabot tap dance. Wow. Oh, no, there's no deal. There's no deal in the making. It's like, and then it's like, no, the Browns came out and said then that there will be, it'll take a couple of days to get done. I don't know who she talks to. I don't know where she gets her information, but shut the fuck up.
Can I make a comment on the last show that I watched recently? The Monday you were highlighting her flip-flopping or whatever.
Yep.
Could it be that she is just paid to spew nonsense?
Yes.
Disinformation.
She's an employee. She's not a journalist. Employee.
She is like Pravda for the Cleveland Browns Corporation.
Yep.
And
with 100% certainty.
You could almost not believe what she writes and be more accurate to the truth than if you actually believe what she writes.
Now, if you go back decades, no, that was not the case.
Correct.
But she is so aligned with Jimmy Haslam, it is peculiar. And the things, of all the things you could choose to write about, that really question the ethics of Jimmy Haslam and his history in business, to take his side as an ethical figure and support him in a new dome, or to support the organization or protect him about bad decisions that he personally has made, citing the opinions of homeless people as to whom he should draft. I mean, to defend this man, but there's so much money getting thrown around.
I think that's the case. Please tell me, I know you might be heading to talk about this anyway, but I saw something about the Department of Transportation saying that the new dome was going to be a hazard to planes. Is that true, or what the fuck is?
I don't know.
I think it was on. It may even been on something from Cleveland.com, but there was something about the dome that some regulator in Ohio said that it could, cause a hazard because of the height of the stadium.
Well, look, I'm not an architectural guy. And to me,
I just want to know whether the story's real or not. I don't know whether
I don't
anybody
know.
can look it up.
I don't know. What I do know is this: they can't stay for very long. They've already determined that the foundation of the current stadium is in disrepair. So,
good. So they might tumble over on. Now Ron's saying 63 feet. So I'm not hallucinating the story. Then that there is an issue with the height of the stadium and.
Yeah, that may well be the case, and that's why they've put the thing 8-9 years out. The funny part of all of this is that the stadium that they built, Cleveland Brown, well, it was originally Cleveland Brown Stadium, and now it's we lose all the time stadium.
Factory,
Factory of Sadness Stadium. Yes. That piece of shit was part of the whole resurrection of the Browns, if you want to call it that, of the Browns franchise, where all the bad decisions were initially made as the organization was rushed into making decisions. They were given no players from other organizations except
no help.
All the bozos who they were going to unload anyway into unemployment. They made sure that if the Browns fans who were very vocal about wanting a team in Cleveland, they gave us a team, all right. And that team has been thoroughly inept and run by thoroughly inept ownership and managed by people who you just shake your head at the decisions that they made over the course of time. Hello, Mr. Be Safe. How you doing? I like to recognize people. And that's what I'm going to talk about next, Ron.
This is that Bob Isaiah.
Yeah, Bond.
Gary U.S. Bonds.
Yeah. This is not that big a deal, folks.
Yeah.
This guy, it's not like anybody expected him to go amongst the top receivers in the draft, okay? This is big news for Cleveland, who never has a wide receiver.
So this is another Antonio Callaway sort of level guy.
Look, this is a guy who's fast. Okay?
Good.
And so because of his speed and his size, it's like everybody wants to say, he could be the next Tyreek Hill. And I'm just saying, what made anybody believe this? What he is ranked as by every site everybody realized once the charges came out against him, he was not going to be drafted. But before that, they said that he was a late second or third round pick. So that's what we're looking at. And look, this is perfect because we always pick losers in the third round anyway.
Every single fucking time.
Remember the last fast guy?
The guy that couldn't run a pattern or catch.
That's right.
And his
I've forgotten his name. Tell me his name in the chat room. I've put him out of my mind.
Oh, God.
He was awful. He went to Auburn, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Oh,
my God.
And now I've managed to forget him now.
We just try. We try to clear our heads from these mistakes. But there is no getting better. The decisions don't, So all the talk about, this guy probably should be in jail. He shouldn't be playing in the NFL. He should be in front of a courtroom judge. And then you got the other people who are like, man, Andrew Berry just pulled off a gem here. He got a first round quality player.
Oh, God.
No, he didn't. And here is his scouting report. All right. He's got explosive acceleration. And what this is probably bad news for somebody like Larvadain, a guy who's trying to make the team, who has great speed. This is going to mean that Larvadain is probably, if he's going to make the roster, it's going to have to be special teams, punt returns, etc. All right. But They have to have themselves the small, undersized receiver who can't get open at the NFL level, but he has explosive acceleration, which means, hey, Kevin Stefanski can put him in for another backwards 10-yard
reverse play,
jet, jet reverse
sweep.
Yep,
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, and everyone will know what the play is when they see him check into the game.
Yeah, and Thinking Bob will stack him for a 30-yard loss. Yeah.
The good news is that he has actually hands and not crab claws. All right.
Anthony Schwartz is the fucker.
Anthony Schwartz. That's right. Thank you. Yeah, and it's like Rudy. It's like exactly.
Yeah, it could have been him.
It could look at all the names.
It him. And I had Calway on the tip of my tongue, and there's Josh Gordon, and we actually had talent, just other issues. And
I love the people in chat though, because we could just keep coming up with names. It really is remarkable. But he does he has natural hands. All right.
Natural hands.
He changes direction really well. And if he catches it, he can be an absolute nightmare in the open field. All right.
Well, then why does he want to come to Cleveland? Why does he want to go to a decent team?
Because he can get on the field with this team. We have no wide receivers. I mean,
we literally don't have any.
We're relegated to 3 tight ends. I mean, they're playing Fan and Junior now constantly. And they're running him in every conceivable set you can imagine. We just don't have any real proven quality wide receivers, unless the one season that Jerry Jeudy had last year was not an illusion. We'll find out this year.
Yeah.
He has elite speed. He ran an official, I believe, 4.39 was his time officially. There are those who say he actually runs faster than that.
Wow.
And he allegedly knows how to run a route. All right. Now, but this is in college, mind you. Nobody has seen him play at the level of opposition that he would be facing in the NFL.
Wow.
And he does have special teams experience, and return ability adds value, which is another bad piece of news for Larvadain, who I really want to watch on Saturday to see if they allow him to return punts, to see if he can again show the ability to get into the open field. That would be nice. But here's the bad news. He's only 180 pounds. All right. And
God, I think I weigh more than that.
I know I do. Now, he has trouble beating physical press coverage. Guess what he's going to see?
He's going to get rammed at the line of scrimmage on every play of his life.
All the talk about, and here we go again with the signal on the show. I don't know. There's something going on.
It's okay for me on street.
Yeah, but this thing pops up, and I don't know. And this is a brand new modem, so this has got me.
Maybe there's some software thing going on that you need to.
I have no idea. But why in the halfway through a show it would do this, I have no idea. But at any rate, his production never matched his athletic potential. He only had 100+ yard receiving game in his college career.
So, well, that's not very impressive.
Not at all. He can get knocked off his route by bigger corners who get their hands on him. What do you think he's going to see in the NFL?
Wow.
Sometimes he relies too heavily on pure speed instead of setting up routes with pace variation, which you can do in college, but you can't do in the pros. He has a moderate catch radius combined with smaller frame, gives quarterbacks a very tight window to hit. So,
you just reminded me of another thing I wanted to comment about on Monday's show. And that was because there was a section where you were reading off Shadur Sanders' draft tips, or whatever they call it, draft ratings, or I don't know what the right word is, but draft synopsis, right? Yes. And to my mind, is there just literally one fucking guy out there who writes all these things and then 35,000 people copy the same shit the original person wrote that just gets spread out and then sort of Chinese whispers and they morph a bit, but they're all essentially the same thing that they started off as? That's my theory. I think there's like one guy that produces these, then everybody copies it and plays around with it.
Yeah, and as far as Isaiah Bond stats, he caught a total of 50 passes in his college career, I believe. I mean, it's not. I mean, there is nothing about him on paper that would make your eyes pop out, except for the Browns. They get an immediate erection when they see speed. But it takes a whole lot more than being fast to make it in the NFL.
Do you have the phrase "sweet FA" in America? Well, that if you don't, it means sweet fuck all is his production in college.
Yeah, I mean, he showed a lot, but as far as potential. But
so Anthony Schwartz probably had better college stats than this clown.
No, because Anthony Schwartz was primarily a track guy.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
Yeah, he was going to be the next Ronaldo Nehemiah for the Browns. Right. You know how it goes. They always have some silliness that they want to sell us. Bleacher Report, they also did a draft 2025 analysis.
Is that any different is my point, or is it just copied from whatever the original one was?
No, I mean, people watched him in college. He's explosive. He blows by people. He runs a clean route. He's dangerous after the catch, but he's underwhelming to fend off physical coverage defenders. His catch radius is limited simply because of his size, and he can't block because he's small. So that's that. Now,
well, we would rather have a blocking tight end than somebody that can't get open, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
At least they could throw a block. Yeah.
Better pray that Tillman, Thrash, and Johnson could be somewhat reliable. Tillman, the fact that he missed 6 games with a concussion makes me wonder if he is really susceptible. Yeah, that would be something that I'm a little bit concerned about that. Yeah, there's no doubt, Rudy, that that he's fast. There's no doubt about that. But we've had other guys who were fast, and they got to be able to get into the pattern. If they can't fight off a physical defender and they never get into the pattern, then what good is it in the end? Here's what I wanted to tie in with all of the issues as far as football players having dossiers that they are troubled, that there's a lot of criminal activity in the league, and there's a lot of misbehaving, and a survey was released. All right. Okay. And remember, this is what the NFL loves. All right. Here's what the whole thing was about. Former NFL players now entering their retirement age 62, are more likely to be living with chronic pain or a disability, are more depressed and anxious, and far more likely to report having some kind of cognitive decline. Yet in spite of all that, the vast majority of them say they do it all over again and that playing football had a positive effect on their lives.
Wow.
This is a survey conducted by ESPN and therefore the NFL, because they're partners now.
Correct. Yes. You got something in your eye.
Yes. I mean, like, this is a credible source.
That's fucking corruption. Like, I can go on.
And independent health policy research polling a news organization, KFF, that sought to assess the life outcomes of NFL players. They attempted to contact all 1,532 players who played in an NFL game during the 1988 season. Now, this is a flaw.
1988. That's like we're talking Bertie Kosar era.
No, but wait, this is the flaw, and the way you set up a study has to be a little bit better than this.
Yeah, it has to be.
They
broader.
tried to contact players who played in an NFL game. Well, if you just came up for a cup of coffee to the NFL,
that's not the same thing as playing every down on offense.
That's right. I mean,
snaps a game.
It's like, don't talk to me about Jim Otto, or don't talk to me about Mike Webster, or don't talk to me about the people who killed themselves, Dave Duerson, or all of them, Junior Seau, right? Don't talk to me about those people who played in so many fucking games you couldn't count them all. They're trying to contact people who just played in a game.
They're gaming the statistics there, because if they mash all those apples and oranges together, like the Jim Ottos and the guys who played 5 snaps in preseason, they're obviously going to get better stats on CTE and neurological disorders and disabilities than if they just take players that played 300 snaps during the 1988 season, for instance.
Yeah, out of the 1,532 players who played in an NFL game during the 1988 season, they only got 546 men to participate. The others couldn't even lift the pencil, probably.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
An average age of 62, representing about 1/3 of the players in the league that year.
Yep.
All right. Here's some of the key findings. Almost all the players reported at least some pain the past 3 months, with half saying they had pain every day and 3/4 saying pain limited their work and personal activity. Now, Bronk, we talk because
we've got pain.
Bronk and I are buddies, and we go back for years on this program. And I love Bronk. He's like my brother in
brother in another country. Yes.
Yeah. As far as the years that we both somehow managed to continue doing this program.
Yeah.
But
we haven't always seen eye to eye, but
no,
we mostly do see eye to eye. Is the thing.
But families don't see eye to eye.
Exactly.
But again, having some pain, Bronk has pain, I have pain. You get to a certain age, you're going to have all kinds of things.
Yeah, if you live the life, you're going to have pain generally.
However, here's the deal. 3/4 said that pain limited their work and personal activity. All right. Well, maybe stop playing tennis and play, and I haven't lifted a golf club this summer. All right. Now, almost half, though, said they had serious difficulty concentrating.
That's not my problem. If anything, it's the opposite. Yes. That's dementia. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, remembering or making decisions at times.
Yep.
Former players were significantly more likely than men their age to report experiencing pain and mental health issues.
Yep.
15% of players said a doctor had diagnosed them with dementia.
15%
already.
And they're younger than me. That's mental. That is literally mental. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, by the way,
tragic.
Just under 4% of men ages 65 and older have been diagnosed with dementia. And of course, that's 65 and older. And I can guarantee you that most of that 4% came from, more advanced age. Half of players said they felt depressed in the past 12 months, compared with 1/4 of men aged 55 to 75. Well, let me explain that there is depression and there is depression.
Suicidal, yeah.
Right.
There's treatable depression, and there's like depression that people don't get over.
Men who are between the age of 55 to 75, their erections aren't as firm and it fucking freaks them out. Or the damn thing taps out and doesn't work at all. Look, there's lots of reasons why men between the ages of 55 and 75 can feel depressed. My marriage ended when I was 62, okay? So there's a lot of reasons. You can feel like you're alone. You can feel like you're just not what you used to be.
Or if you don't have a job and you that you used to have one, and you lack purpose, and
your hair is falling out or turning gray, you see, or any number of things. All right. 6 in 10 of the players reported living with some type of disability, including difficulty walking or climbing stairs, dressing, or bathing, 3 times the rate of men their age.
Yeah.
All right. Black players fared worse than white players across the board, from physical and mental ailments to income and interactions with law enforcement.
Well, that's hardly surprising.
Yep. Ex-players continue to embrace the game in a variety of ways, but were divided in their attitudes about youth tackle football. About 1/3 said the risks of tackle football before high school outweigh the benefits. 1/3. 1 in 4 said they would support a ban on tackle football for children below the high school level.
Wow. And these are guys who know what they're talking about, because they lived it and went through it and probably had children that went through it.
But believe me, I'm sorry, Rudy. I didn't realize that it would hit home like that.
Yes, that's...
It's a good thing Isaiah Bond didn't do to you what he did to the woman.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
I'm allowed to joke about these things because it's my job. So 1 in 4 said they'd support a ban on tackle football. Wow. That means 3 out of the 4 say, no, let the kids go ahead and start it early.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is we have no clear evidence at how early this shit really consumes,
So can I make a point about that? Because the general population data is going to include loads of men that played pee-wee football, junior high football, high school football, and university football, but never played a snap in the NFL. So the general data is higher than it otherwise would be if football did not exist in our world. So there you go. I mean, you can pull that out as well.
Yep. Now, still, 9 out of 10 ex-players said they would make the same decision to play professional football. Even among players who said the NFL had a negative effect on both their physical health and their mental well-being, 78% said they would decide to play again.
Well, they loved the game. Obviously, they were kids. They loved the game, and they played the game, and they were encouraged to love the game.
You gotta be a football hero to get along with the beautiful girls. Some people never fucking grow up. I swear to God. But the money now, I mean, I wonder about...
Yeah, in '88, it wasn't as big as it...
Exactly.
Anywhere near as what it has been in the past 10 years.
I mean, now I can, it's like, okay, I'm going to give up 15 years or 20 years of my life, but my family will be taken care of for generations. I mean,
for 5 generations down the line.
I'm not saying that's the wisest course of action, but at least there would be some logic to it. And then the NFL jumps on this and says, in the last CBA alone, the parties invested over $2 billion to further enhance player pension and health benefits, yada, yada, yada. It's all justification. But when you start hearing about players who played pee-wee football, played high school football, played big time, when I mean big time, because now college football is stratified into
very much so.
The powerful 10, 12 teams. And then there's like where Shador came from, the FBS, that, where they're hoping to manage to step into a portal like Star Trek and get beamed up to one of the 10 or 12 great teams.
Yeah.
That's kind of the hope that they're hoping for. So it should come as no surprise that people who have excelled at the game, worked hard at the game from the time they were a young child, and were facing contact and getting belted around, that, it's a violent game, folks.
Yeah.
And violent lifestyle. I was going to compare it to boxing, Raging Bull wasn't just the style of Jake LaMotta in a boxing ring. He beat up women. I mean, I can share with you so many stories of fighters who just, if your job
is to be aggressive, you're going to be aggressive in your private life too.
Yeah.
It's virtually inevitable.
And if you stand there in order to hype a fight saying, I'm going to fucking kill you, right off the bat.
You're tempted to do that to other people, collateral people in your life,
So I guess the way I feel about all of it is there's a reason all of this happens. I hope justice is done. But when justice is decided upon, don't be like one-dimensional, blinded in one direction. All right? If you believe that Bill Clinton should have stayed in office when he's fucking a woman with a cigar in the White House,
an intern,
right?
In a position of vulnerability. Like
if you believe that, all right, then God only knows, privilege being what privilege is. I guess it allows you in your minds to do whatever it is that you want to do. And
land of the free means you're free to do anything as long as you don't get caught.
I don't look at life that way. And as far as players making a decision to play football, sure. Now I don't really have the sympathy that I did for the players who played in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. We're going back to the Bernie Kosar and before, the Lyle Alzado days, and then the Jim Otto days, and then where the game
Gene Hickerson,
bigger, stronger, and and then the use of steroids, everything that went down, and the rage that steroids literally created in people that made them more violent. This is a problem that is a game problem. I just had a friend, and I'm not going to say who the friend is, but a very good friend of mine who got into a car accident because a truck that was going 55 miles an hour flew up in the air, hitting a car, ended up totaling this guy's car, and he ended up with a concussion. Okay. And this is the story that he told me, and I find it just heartbreaking. And he had been an avid skier, okay?
Right. Okay.
And so he had concussions prior to this.
Yeah, he just ran into trees and shit like that.
Just falls
on
the slopes, and you don't have any traction. You hit your head. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. He ends up, at home, and he is just wanting to do the laundry, and he's looking for what he did with the laundry. He wants to put it in the washing machine. He can't find the goddamn laundry. Wow. And he just so he goes into the clothing area back in the master bedroom area, and he passes the bathroom, and he threw his clothes in the toilet.
Wow, I can't say anything about that.
No, I mean,
that's I'm sorry to hear that.
Very scary shit.
There's no way to spin that as a funny story, Yeah.
And now, Jeffrey is now asking me, what are my thoughts on the Isaiah Bond signing? I don't think it's as big a deal as people are going to think it is, because I don't think he's going to be a star player in the NFL. So if you're looking at it from a sheer oh, I'm excited because we got a real fast guy. Yeah, it's another fast guy in camp. But
well, he's still got to prove himself. Maybe he will. Chances are he won't. It's just like
he
everybody
has a
else
right
there.
to work, is my belief,
Yes.
Jeffrey, is that just because he was accused of something and exonerated of something doesn't mean he doesn't have a right to work for a living.
Correct.
So, yeah, I have no problem with the Browns signing him. I have no problem with the Browns working things out with Judkins. I watch the football games because I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, because I have been since I was a child. I'm not a fan of the way the league conducts business. I'm not a fan of Jimmy Haslam personally. I was not a fan of Art Modell, but
or Randy Lerner for that matter.
Yeah,
right? And Al Lerner.
But again, I don't want people to drag Jimmy Haslam away by his feet because he committed crimes in the trucking business. The fact is, you pay your debt and you move on. And fighters who came out, and I saw that Dwight Muhammad Qawi died recently. And, and he came, he was Dwight Braxton was his original name. And he came out of Rahway prison and made something of his life. And, they have a right to work, for God's sake. So what I feel about it is, gosh, I hope he's a good player and he can help the team. That's what fans are supposed to be thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, we already said that, Erlanger. Yeah. We all think like we've seen it too many damn times.
Yeah, I mean, we're just waiting for TJ Watt to throw him for 20-yard loss.
Hey, big lurker.
Hey,
how you doing? Yeah. So the NFL is going to try to pimp itself now, saying what a great thing they're doing for players.
The terrible thing is that, from my point of view, is that the NFL is really trying to boost the game overseas. And it's exactly like the cigarette companies back in the 60s and 70s, realizing that cigarettes are on the down low in America. Let's pump them overseas so that we can get people addicted before they realize it's cancerous. Well, that's what the NFL is doing, exporting the game.
And I think you're going to see Tyler Huntley the whole game. I really do.
I think he's probably better than Pickett, and he's better than a hurt Joe Flacco. If Flacco gets hurt in any of these games or in the first game of the season where he's crippled, then you might as well play Tyler Huntley.
I mean, a cliffhanger is like Who Shot JR? Cliffhangers happen at the end of seasons of all the major series that are on television. This is no cliffhanger. Joe Flacco was your starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
Everybody else just shut the fuck up. The reason he's not playing at all is they don't want to jeopardize
him. They want to kill
40
him,
years old.
But he's going to get killed at some point. There's a set number of snaps in his life cycle that he ain't going to play. He ain't going to play 600 snaps in this season. It just won't happen.
Yeah, and no, I did not hear about that, Jeffrey. He wants to make a comeback once he's out. Again, if you pay your debt to society, it's going to take somebody who believes in you and trusts you, and that might be awfully hard to find based on the crime you committed. That's
there you go.
And I think that's as simply as
once you're proven guilty, then you take your punishment and hope for the best, isn't it?
Hi, Christopher. How you doing? I always like to shout out my people.
Shout out.
Yeah. There's just a few other things, because I'm not going to talk about the whole Kenny Pickett thing, because Kenny Pickett stated in verbatim that, I'm not really quite ready yet. And I think the less Kenny plays is best for Kenny, because everyone's going to think he's better than what he is. Because when you see him out there, you're going to be very, very disappointed. And seeing Snoop Huntley out there a whole game, that's going to be very trying. I'm going to be doing a halftime and post-game show, and God, I'm going to have damn little to talk about. But one of the things that I do want to talk about at halftime and post game will be how the Browns defensive line does, because there's a lot of talk that there is some excitement about some depth that we have on the defensive line. And this has got to be where the Browns formulate their identity, because it's not going to be a big scoring unit. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, Mr. Two-Way Travis Hunter, he may sit against the Saints with an upper body injury because he's been playing both ways. He took a walk on the wild side, and he played both ways, and now he's hurt.
So does that make him a trans player? Can I say that?
Yeah, he's transcended sanity by trying to play both offense and defense. I mean, this guy is rushing, literally rushing at full speed toward dementia. I don't know why somebody would want to do that, except ego. That's about the extent of that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson is the other running back besides Judkins, and we're supposed to be excited about him. And the only headline that they have about this guy is that he got slammed to the ground by Myles Garrett in practice. Literally picked up and body slammed.
Wow.
So, and Jeffrey, nothing would surprise me in all of this.
If we get a 7th round pick for him, that's what we got for Charlie Fry.
I'm telling you, the less he plays, the more value he has.
Yeah.
Because once teams see him, it's going, oh God, this guy sucks. We don't want him. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I know you're serious. It just is. It's just, you have to laugh, isn't it?
Yeah. He was body slammed to the ground, Sampson, by his own teammate. And and it's like, but the headline, Browns rookie running back shows resilience after viral moment at the hands of Myles Garrett. And the bottom line is his resilience is that he fucking got back up. This is the game. It's the business that they're in. It's a hurting game. And it really bothers me when fans want to play judge and jury. It's the wrong approach. The fact is that you yourself are getting kicks watching the football games. And look, I'm not going to say I'm better than you, because I'm watching the games and I get pissed off and I'm yelling at the screen. I'm yelling at the officials for making ridiculous calls that always go against the Browns and help their opposition. I'm right there with you, folks.
Yeah, and people have heard me rant enough times. So,
and Erlanger is like, an old offensive line and Father Time at quarterback. What could go wrong?
That's literally probably the toughest 6 weeks of the season that I can ever remember, based on their performance last year.
Terrible schedule, horrible competitive schedule. It's going to be very difficult for them to get. I mean, you're looking
one
at
win would be good.
One win is you're going to be 1-5 if you've done good. You're going to be 0-6 if you do what people expect. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah,
maybe you can pull out a game if your defense holds up and you
get some turnovers,
short field. But even kicking field goals isn't going to be a certainty.
No. And we're always, I will say this again, I think I say this every fucking year, but we're always shit in hot weather. The hotter the games, like if it's fucking 90 degrees in Washington or wherever it is we go, we're always crap. We're not conditioned, and we always get belted in the first 2 games when it's hot weather.
Just amazing. So, look at this. Out of 35 quarterbacks, the athletic rated Browns, Flacco is 31 out of 35, and Pickett is dead last. I mean,
is that like a Wonderlic score, but based on their movements.
And reasonable question actually for a person who's CO brain dead. what kind of season will Baker have, I wonder? And you know something,
Is he
he
still at
had,
Tampa Bay? Because
yes, yeah,
he's still there.
he
Okay,
had a career season last
he
year,
did. He looked
and to have
good in games.
40 touchdowns and 14 picks, I don't think he's going to be able to recreate that. We will see. I have no bad things to say about Baker Mayfield. I want
You know
him to
what?
succeed. Why wouldn't I want him to succeed?
He
You
may
know,
be one of those quarterbacks that gets better when he gets into his 30s. There have been a few, like Kurt Warner and to some extent Flacco, and he may be one of those quarterbacks that just can play till he's 35, 38 and have decent years and win 8 games a year.
yeah,
You
I
know?
think Kenny Pickett is slightly better than Anthony Richardson. Anthony
I
Richardson, the best news is when he's injured because, I don't understand how it was just like Tim Tebow. I
Yeah.
never understood, except that he had a choir boy image, and the NFL probably wanted to promote that. But a quarterback who can't throw the football. I remember there was a guy in the 70s named Bobby Douglas, and he played
Oh
for the
God, the
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him. He was god awful, and
The
he
guy
still
threw, they look like end over end kicks. I mean, they were like knuckleballs. I
yeah.
mean, and you can't be a quarterback in the league and not be able to throw. And
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson completed like, what was a horrible number? It was like 40 something percent of his passes, 47%.
Oh, Derek Anderson was a better quarterback than any of these clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some really bad quarterbacks in the league, but Anthony Richardson was really being hyped. But I think that the tide has turned, and running quarterbacks are going to be, again, kind of a thing of the past. The NFL are looking for investment in players who might be able to last longer.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting for Lamar Jackson to go down and not get up. And it could happen anytime. And
It could
he's not
happen.
proven that he can throw well enough to win a Super Bowl and to get through
And I
playoffs.
don't think, like I'm saying this about Baker, that he could be one of these guys that gets better in his 30s. I don't see Lamar Jackson improving.
History would say
I
that
don't,
guys
I
who
don't
are running quarterbacks like
they
that,
don't. And like
you know,
Randall Cunningham and
well,
guys, they
he
don't get
came
better.
back with after the knee problems, and he was a pretty decent quarterback.
Decent. He was a decent quarterback. He could have started, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, and now we're getting
Charlie
the other,
Whitehurst.
yeah, Charlie Whitehurst.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Well, everybody, I got to get out of here, and tomorrow, I got to set up the post game, halftime, and post game show. The Browns are what time? 1:00.
I think it may very well be a 1:00 game.
For some reason, I'm thinking that it's a 1:00 start. Can I get confirmation in
I
the chat
think,
on that?
yeah. I will look for you.
Yeah, but I looked at it out of the corner of my eye and went, "Oh, this is going to be an early one." So it'll be like one and done. I'll be doing a halftime show at 2:30, and I'll be doing a post game show at 4:00, and that's pretty good. That'll give me a chance to go out at night and have some fun.
It is a 1:00 Eastern.
And who's showing the game? Which
I believe it's NFL Network. So
that's
I don't
right.
know.
All three of their games, preseason games, are on NFL Network. So this is great. So you'll be seeing me twice tomorrow.
Well, you may even be seeing me on the post game. I don't know. I have visitors coming over tomorrow, but
well, if you get a chance, you're always welcome.
Yeah, I'll see.
And thanks,
I may or may not be on.
I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the people who are watching the program, and let's hope that the Browns can at least show something. And,
yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see the team get embarrassed when it's on a national network.
No, and there's all the reason in the world playing inexperienced people trying to make football roster,
Super Bowl champions,
and playing a quarterback a whole game who that Huntley is. Ugh.
Are they really going to play Tyler Huntley? Oh, I don't know.
They're saying the whole
bother.
game. Yeah, the whole game.
So what's wrong with Gabriel then? Do I even know?
it tells me everything. Flacco isn't playing at all. They're protecting him. He's the starter, right?
Because he's like
they're protecting Shedeur with this oblique thing, and they're protecting Gabriel. So and the same thing with Pickett. So it's they don't want to make a harsh, fast decision they don't have to make right now, but it's getting more and more late. And
what I'm saying is that I'm guessing that Tyler Huntley is better than two of the quarterbacks we got. So, that's the scary thing. If they play him the whole game and he gets hurt.
Yeah, well, there you have it. I mean, that if you get rid of Pickett, Snoop is probably your planned third string quarterback. Who knows? Who knows what the story is? But I think I really wanted to see Dylan Gabriel play because I think people are going to go very cold when they see him play. I have a feeling that he is not going to be successful.
Yeah, he sounds like he's got Seneca Wallace written all over him for me. But anyway,
yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Flacco plays a couple series in the third preseason game for timing and all that. But he's a vet.
He don't need that. He was on his couch that one year and came back and won 5 games. So.
All right, man. I got to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. And let's go Browns, and let's see if we can put up a manly fight against the Eagles. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. Good night.
Boo.